Hello viewers, myself Professor Shahana Shenbuktu. Presently I am associated with Swami Vivekananda Institute of Modern Science, Kolkata as an assistant professor in the Department of Microbiology. I would like to welcome you all in my YouTube channel. In my YouTube channel, usually I share different types of academic videos related to the field of biological science. Today, I have picked up a topic for you all, that is antigens and immunotypes. Let's start with our journey with the new topic. Happy listening.
Let's start with the antigen. Antigen is a foreign substances, usually protein in nature and sometimes polysaccharide, that generates a specific immune response and induces the formation of a specific antibody or specially sensitized T cells or sometimes both. Although all antigens are recognized by specific lymphocytes or by antibodies, only some of the antigens are capable of activating lymphocytes. It reacts with the products of immune system in a specific and observable manner. Now I would like to discuss about few terms related to the antigen. Let's begin with immunogen. Immunogen is a substance which induces a detectable immune response either by cell-mediated or via humoral mode. Next come epitope. Epitope is the portion of an antigen that is recognized and bound by an antibody or T-cell receptor or MHC complex. It is the smallest unit of antigenicity called as antigenic determinants. It is consisting of 4 or 5 amino acid or monosaccharide residues. It is having the specific chemical structure, electric charges as well as steric configuration. It is capable of sensitizing T and B cells and reacting with the specific site of TCRs or antibody. The combining area on antibody corresponding to epitope is known as paratope. Epitopes and paratopes determine the specificity of immune reaction. Now come haptens. Haptens are low molecular weight molecule that can be made immunogenic by conjugating to a suitable carrier. As they are molecular weight substances, they are incapable of inducing antibody formation by themselves. But they can react specifically with antibodies, so they are non-immunogenic as well as antigenic. They can become immunogenic when combined with a larger protein molecule as a carrier. Let's discuss about the immunologic properties of antigen. Antigen, when introduced into the host body, it evokes the immune system and reacts with the products of the immune system in a specific and observable manner. Antigen satisfied two distinct immunological properties. Number 1, immunogenicity. Number 2, antigenicity or immunological reactivity. Immunogenicity stands for the ability to induce a humoral or cell-mediated immune response in the host body, while antigenicity stands for the ability to combine specifically with the final products of humoral or cell-mediated immune responses. All molecules possessing the properties of immunogenicity also possess the property of antigenicity. Let's focus on the comparison between immunogenicity and antigenicity. All immunogens are antigens, but all antigens are not immunogens. And immunogens can trigger an immune response and act as an antigen in that response. All molecules having immunogenicity also can show antigenicity. So all the immunogens are antigens. Despite the fact that all antigens are recognized by specific lymphocytes or antibodies, not every antigen can evoke an immune responses. Antigens, those are capable of inducing an immune response, are said to be immunogenic and are called immunogens. So, all antigens are not immunogens in nature. Let's start with the discussion of properties of antigens. Properties of antigens basically confers antigenicity to an antigen. Let's begin with the foreignness. The immune system normally can discriminate between self and non-self entities such that only foreign molecules are said to be immunogenic when an antigen is introduced into the body of the host. Number 2, molecular size. There is not absolute size above which a substance will be immunogenic. However, in general, it is likely to be the best immunogens tends to have a molecular mass approaching 1 lakh Dalton. The poor immunogens generally have a molecular size between 5,000 to 10,000 Dalton. Number 3, chemical composition. In general, the more complex the substance is chemically, the more immunogenic it will be. The addition of aromatic amino acids like tyrosine or phenylalanine to synthetic polymers can have a profound effect on immunogenicity. All 4 levels of protein can contribute to the antigenic determinants and hence affect immunogenicity. Number 4, physical form. In general, particulate antigens are more immunogenic than soluble ones, and denatured antigens more immunogenic than the native one. Number 5, degradability. Antigens are degradable. That is because for most antigens, our development of an immune response requires that the antigens must be phagocytized, processed, and presented to the helper T cell by an antigen-presenting cells or APCs. Now I would like to discuss about the categorization of antigens. Antigens can be categorized into 2 types depending on their origin, namely exogenous antigens and endogenous antigens. Endogenous antigens can be further categorized to heterogenic antigens, allogenic or idiotypic antigens, and autologous antigen. Exogenous antigens are those antigens which enter into the host body from their surrounding or external environments. These are basically of pollutants, microorganisms, pollens, and drugs. These antigens enters into the host body or the system and start circulating in the body fluids and then trapped by the APCs or antigen-presenting cells such as macrophages or dendritic cells. The uptake of these exogenous antigens by APCs are mainly mediated by the process of phagocytosis, whereas the endogenous antigens are body's own cell or subfragments or compounds or the antigenic products that are produced. The endogenous antigens are processed by macrophages, which are later accepted by the cytotoxic T cells. Endogenous antigens include exogenic, that means heterologous, autologous, and idiotypic or allogenic antigens. Talking about the exogenic antigens, they are foreign items which are related with tissue transplantation and serology, whereas the allogenic antigens are foreign items which enter when an individual receives a blood or undergo transplantation operation. Whereas the autologous antigens or group of antigens is very rare and unnatural. In normal condition, self components are non-immunogenic in nature, but in an abnormal condition, the self-body components are started to be considered as a non-self or antigenic components. Antigens can be categorized into four major types like protein, polysaccharide, nucleic acids and lipid based on the chemical natures of the antigens. The vast majority of the immunogens are proteins. They may be pure proteins or sometimes may be conjugated protein like glycoprotein or lipoproteins. In general, proteins are usually very good immunogens. Some antigens are purely polysaccharides or sometimes complex polysaccharide in nature, and they are said to be good immunogens. Some amino acids, they are nucleic acids in nature and usually poorly immunogenic. However, they may become immunogenic when single-stranded or complex proteins are being matched with them. The fourth one is the lipid. In general, lipids are non-immunogenic, although they may act like haptens sometimes. Depending on the immunogenic response, antigen can be categorized into two major types: T-cell independent antigens and T-cell dependent antigens. Let's begin with the T-cell independent antigens. They can directly stimulate the B cells to produce antibody without the requirement of T-cell help. They are mostly polysaccharides in nature and they exhibit properties like polymeric structure. They can make polyclonal activation of B cells and they are resistant towards degradation. Whereas the T-cell independent antigens do not directly stimulate and production of antibody without the help of T cells. They are mostly protein in nature. Antigens can be further categorized into two another types like complete antigens or immunogen and incomplete antigen or haptens. The complete antigen or immunogen possess antigenic properties. That means they are able to generate an immune response by themselves. They are high molecular weight component having molecular weight more than 10,000 Dalton. They may be proteins or polysaccharide in nature. Whereas incomplete antigen or haptens, they are foreign substance and usually non-protein in nature. They are unable to induce immune response by itself. They require carrier molecule to act as a complete antigen. The carrier molecule is a non-antigenic component and help in provoking the immune response. Example, serum proteins such as albumin and globulin. They are having very low molecular weight, less than 10,000 Dalton. Haptens can react specifically with the corresponding antibody. Another category of antigen is known as heterophile antigens. Basically, the heterophile antigens are identical antigens found in cells of different species. They are totally unrelated antigen, but they are having epitope in common. Thus, an immune response to such antigens can cause the production of antibodies that react with the second antigen. Examples are different cross-reactive microbial antigens as heterophile antigens. Lastly, I would like to discuss about another category of antigens, namely superantigen. When the immune system encounters a conventional T-cell dependent antigen, only a small fraction of the T-cell population is able to recognize the antigen and become activated. However, some antigens can polyclonally activate a large fraction of the T-cell and setting off mass immune response. These antigens are called as superantigens. Superantigens can stimulate up to 10% of the T-cell to respond, whereas antigen would normally stimulate only 0.001 to 0.01% of the T-cell to respond.
Thanks a lot for your patience. Please do subscribe my channel. Stay tuned for the upcoming videos in different fields of biosciences.